We will return to our regularly scheduled program after these commercial messages. Welcome back to Hats Off to You. My name is Jay, and here we are again. Took a little week off there. Needed to happen. Honestly, needed a little time. A lot of things going on. As you're probably aware, it's the holiday season, and gifts gotta be bought, plans gotta be made, other things gotta happen. I also needed some time to work on Project N, and that, I'm happy to say, is actually very close to completion. So stay tuned, because at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a little peek into exactly what this Project N is. You could skip to the end of the video, but why would you do that? Why would you do that? We have so much to talk about. We haven't seen each other in a week. Come on. Come on. I got to thinking the other day, I was talking to somebody, a lady friend, and I was telling her the story of how something happened. I received yet another email from a sales organization, sort of, you got to have this, we got to have you to have this culture that we kind of live in. So, very long story short, I have a problem. I have a car problem. I like to have cars. I don't like to buy cars because the paperwork is very tedious, but I like, the new car smell and being in a new car. But also, there's been a lot of changes going on in my life, so I've kind of needed a newer car to fit a new lifestyle, to fit another lifestyle, and then again to fit another lifestyle. So, and I'm a car guy, so I like to look around and everything. So I saw a website with a car that I was kind of looking at. Now, I'm not going to get into the who's and the whys and the whats, but essentially, at this point in time, I was looking for a moderately used car for fairly cheap, but still something cool, right? Because I don't want to roll around with something not cool. I'm a cool guy. I want a cool car, right? So I was looking for something kind of cool, but still economical for various reasons. I had a good car, but this other car over here getting old, etc., etc. I'm not going to get into all that. But I will say that I was looking around, and I was going to some websites, some various websites and what have you, and I was looking for what could be the next Cephas wagon. And I found one, and it was a red coupe with a manual transmission, a luxury model, but a little bit older with some heavy miles on it. Heavy, a little bit up there, but still good for what the brand of car was and everything. I looked at it and I said, okay, that's probably, I'm not in the market. I'm not trying to buy the car. I don't want to buy the car just yet, but I'm looking, you gotta be fully informed on these things before you actually make your purchase decision. I was looking at the website and how it was set up on your phone. Imagine this to be a phone. You looked and they had like their used specials for under 15,000, under 10,000, whatever. And I saw this car and it was right around 10,000 or so. And I was looking at it and it was like, I don't know, let's say 10,600 something or another, 10,600 and some change. So I was looking at this car and I thought, this is an okay car. Those payments, if, throw a little money down, wouldn't be terrible. So, once again, I'm not thinking for real about this. I'm just curious. I just want to see what's out there. You got to see what's out there. So I'm seeing what's out here, and I see this car that I think I might like, and there's a little button here. Now, let me take an aside to remind everybody who might have watched one of my recent videos that I was actually a car sales guy for about 3 months. So I kind of know what's going to happen. There's this button here that says get lowest price now. And see, I could take up a whole nother episode, and I might if anyone's interested in car buying politics, about the buying a new car versus a used car, this, that, whatever, but another topic for another day. Basically, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to click this button that says get lowest price now. And then there's going to be this form that pops up that says give us your name, your email address, your phone number, the town that you lived in, the town that you would eventually like to live in, your social security number, your highest hopes and aspirations. I kid a little bit on that last part, but still, they want to know about you so that they can get in contact with you and harass you about buying a car. I knew it was going to happen, but I was mostly curious just to see how much they would take off that price. Turns out it was $300, which was not worth what happened thereafter. Received phone calls and emails from the internet sales girl at this dealership. Now, I'm not going to say her name, but internet sales girl, I understand. I was you once because I was the internet sales guy at my dealership. I get you. I feel you. It's really, really difficult to sell cars, A, and then 2, to sell across the internet through email when people don't really check emails that are from selling websites very often. It gets into the spam filter, it goes out into wherever, you know, it's under a promotional tab or something, and it just looks like spam, and nobody wants to open that. So I feel you, you know. And even though people are there looking at your website, or even sometimes when people walk up on the dang lot and they're looking at cars, and you go out there and you say, "Excuse me, sir, I noticed that you have stumbled upon our lot that is on the far side of town, and you are looking very closely at the Maroni sticker on this car. Is there any question I can answer?" "I'm just looking." I get it. It's tough. It's tough. But still, you got to understand that maybe I don't really want the car that bad. Maybe I don't want to talk to you. And of course, I got a lot going on, so I didn't really think to respond to her by mistake, because then I proceeded to get emails, and it was the same. Because once again, I've been here. I know how it works. There's like a template that you follow where you say, "Hello, blank. We were talking about blank vehicle. If you would like to come in," or blah, blah, blah. And then, I mean, it got even more carried away. It got to the point eventually where she was offering to drive the vehicle down to where I was at, which was actually not that close, and let me drive this vehicle around. I'm thinking, this car already has how many miles on it? And you're going to drive it for me to drive around, to presumably drive back to you if I don't like it, which that's a salesman tactic too. They want you to fall in love with the car. You can see yourself in it a lot easier when you are in the car. So I get it. But, you know, lay off a little bit. Just give me some room. Give me some space. You wouldn't want to be harassed, would you? And, you know, ultimately, yes, okay, it's a car buying experience. Well, she called me on the phone one day, and I was finally to the point where I was like, "Look, I gotta talk to her. Maybe we can get some discussion going. Maybe we'll just follow this rabbit trail, see where it goes. If nothing else, I can just politely ask her to lay off a little bit, right?" I do remember the phone call, not vividly, but I remember her basically saying, "Yes, you were looking at this vehicle, right?" And I explained to her kind of the situation we were in with one car with a lot of miles, and going to keep this car and let this person drive this, you know, that whole story. And, you know, I told her, you know, I'm kind of looking at this car, you know, it looks kind of cool and everything, but I just, you know, I don't know if I'm willing to commit to that payment. And then this is what I'm getting to right here, is in salesmen, prospective salesmen, take note. Or if you are a salesman, take note. Because I had put in the request on this car. When she picked up, she sent me all the emails saying, "This is the car you were looking at, right?" And so, she's talking to me on the phone here. I pick up and I say, "Yes, I was looking at that car. That car was interesting. If I were to buy a car, that would probably be the one that I wanted. I don't know if I want to buy a car." And then we kind of went into this weird realm where I knew we were going to go once I started saying, "but," as then it was, "Well, are you sure that's the right car for you? Maybe, what exactly are you looking for in a car?" And immediately I could see like the template come back out, the little script. "What kind of car do you want? What are your needs? Do you have any children?" And it's like, look, I've already thought about all this. I know what I want. I told you the thing that I wanted over here. I just don't want to buy a car. Don't think that it's because I don't know what I want and then I need you to tell me what I want. A lot of salesmen are actually order getters, or no, they're order takers. They're order takers, not order getters. And that's not to say anything bad against salespeople. There's some really good salespeople in this world who know their stuff and can actually sway you on a purchase. But the biggest thing is not so much what you're trying to sell. People know what they want or have at least a good idea what they need. But your biggest thing, especially when you're talking cars, is to just get them to buy, get them to make the purchase decision. That's what's the most important thing. You don't have to go through this rigmarole of trying to tell somebody what they want and trying to put them in the right kind of car. And I know that there's all this rhetorical sort of salesman lingo where it's like, well, dealership wants us to sell so many of these cars this month. This is the new style, the new body style. This is the new generation. We have the incentives on this car this month. Let's go ahead and sell more of these. We'll kind of ease people into it because, we're salesmen. If somebody doesn't want that car, they're not going to buy that car, and don't make them buy that freaking car if they don't want it. Because I was thinking, it's like, what do you want me to buy? What do you want me to buy? And it kind of made me think about a time previously when I was talking to somebody when I worked for a dealership who I guess she was sort of a specialist or something. And she came in and she was trying to kind of go over the internet basis for it. And somebody called, and I don't remember if it was like an all call or if it was specifically from me or whatever, but somebody called, or maybe it had been an internet ping or whatever, and that was how they knew to come to me. Whatever the case was, person called and I was talking to him, and he was saying that he wanted a full-size truck with the crew cab, with the back seat and everything. And I was thinking, like, okay, well, this is what he wants. And he said that I've got all these kids and need room to haul them all around and everything. And I was thinking, okay, this is a man, presumably with a wife, because there's kids involved. He wasn't a bubba on the phone, but he still sounded like he wanted to be something, driving a little something with a little grunt to it. So maybe the truck's not the best solution for him. Maybe he needs something more of an SUV. Maybe a bigger SUV, or maybe the road-faring SUV that has several seats or whatever. And I was going to try and sell him on that. And the woman, she was a nice woman. She really was. But there was this moment where I just wanted to shake her, because she kind of like did this thing where she started like shaking her head and smiling. And she's like, no. He doesn't want the pickup truck. He wants the new minivan that they've just released, the upgraded minivan. That's a cool vehicle. That's the coolest thing that they've got right now. I would have one. And I was thinking, now see, this is you trying to put your wants and needs on somebody else. You're trying to project what you think's cool on somebody else. And maybe that's a little bit about what being a salesman is about, but you ultimately have to add value to the purchase and make the person feel comfortable about what they're buying. And the person comes in and says, well, I want a pickup truck. And you say, you probably don't need the pickup truck. How about an SUV? Okay, well, that's kind of like a truck. Okay, yeah, I've veered you in the right direction. But if you're saying, well, I want a pickup truck, and you say, no, you want a minivan. Let me go ahead and tell you something right now. No man wants a minivan. There comes like a few months in every man's life where they kind of want a minivan. It's just an inexplicable phase, like wearing strange jewelry and shaving your eyebrows. It's kind of a weird thing that you go through. But really and truly, no man wants a minivan. They just don't. So don't try to tell a man he wants a minivan. Maybe get his wife to come in or whatever and sell her a minivan. But the man don't want a minivan, okay? They just don't. No man goes minivan shopping of his own free will. He just don't. Right? So, if you're a salesperson, let the person tell you what they want and don't try to force them. And if you are a prospective buyer, then don't be forced into something that you don't want, because you don't need that. You want the thing that you want, especially when you're talking cars. If you get something that you don't really and truly want, you're going to be miserable, and those payments don't just go away. Get the thing that you want. and be confident in what you want. And don't go through the rigmarole of somebody trying to walk you down the step list of, well, it looks like you have kids. You'd probably like this nice. No, 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 no. If I want the two-seater sports car, then I'm getting the two-seater sports car, and you'll be happy to hand me the keys. There's that pitch about salesmanship. Now let me proceed to sell you on exactly what Project N is. It's big, and it's cool, and it's actually very close to being a real thing. I'm going to throw us at maybe 90% completion right now, with the other 10% to follow very shortly as soon as I just have a little block of free time. Project N stands for novel. Yeah. Jay Dunn wrote himself a novel. Been working on it. That's part of the reason why I had to take some time, is because actually novel writing is not that easy, believe it or not. Even when you're working at a breakneck pace, you're still doing good to crank just a few pages out over the course of a day. So, hey, we wrote something, and it's cool. It's in kind of the proofreading and editing phases now. I can't describe distribution yet because I'm not really sure how that's going to work out, but I'm looking into it. And of course, I'll let everybody know just as soon as I know what we're doing, right? So, hey, be looking out for the novel that I'm writing and pretty much finished with at this point. It's a kind of a fiction fantasy novel, some, good old-fashioned sword play and action kind of stuff. You'll enjoy it, though. Maybe you won't, but at least look at it. It can't hurt, right? So be ready for that. Be ready for a little bit more of this hats off to you thing now that I got a little breathing room. There's also a Twitter. There's also a Facebook. Like, join, subscribe, follow, everything. It's all there. Why not? I'll keep you up to date on everything that I got going on. And hey, it's good to be back. Hats off to you.